All right. Well, we have a good one today. We're going to be working on Windows Utility. We're going to be going through the repo. This is a brand new system. I'm starting a little late today, mainly because I just need to do all my developer authorizations, two-factor, get signed into everything, because this is a whole new Windows instance I haven't used before, and kind of get everything ready to go. So it should be a fun one today. We're gonna see, from this fresh install how we can do, and we'll do an actual fresh run of the Windows utility. See any optimizations. The big thing here is a little bit of a refactor, and then also just kind of testing out how things are going with the Windows utility. We'll see how it all ends up. I'm not sure we'll get through everything, but we're gonna try. I'm a little scatterbrained today. I've been working a little bit on like the green screen, getting it kind of, I don't know, a little higher contrast. I'm probably gonna be moving this back a little bit, working on some other different production things. I really like this space a lot better than any space I've ever been in. So it should be a fun one. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. Let's start with our repo. We're gonna grab, man, I have so many GitHub repos now. Let's just clone WinUtil. I don't really have much else going on here with WinUtil. Oh, found threats. Okay, what's getting WinUtil Casdit F? Okay, where's that at? See details. Damn it, I hate antivirus with like a dire passion. All right, 1 second. Stupid antivirus. All right, let's go manage settings. We should have an exclusion section. Easiest way to exclude stuff from there is just a folder. And we're going to just go GitHub. And since these are my repos, I mean, obviously you probably don't want to do a blanket GitHub one, but I'm over it. We're just going to blanket exclude the entire GitHub and subfolders as well. I think it goes ahead and includes the subfolders, but let's just see. Discard changes. Discard. All right, grab that file for me again. And just erase the whole PS1 file. That's crazy. This is just a blanket ISO. It's actually not even that clean yet. Right now, what are we at right now? I think task manager wise, let's see what our processes are. I don't think we're very clean though. Yeah, we're at 181 utilization, 3%. I think this is kind of trash, to be honest with you, for initial setup. I have like gotten rid of a lot of like the apps and just things I don't like manually. But the big thing is we do need to run the utility and kind of get this under control, because that's kind of ridiculous. I do worry about running the utility on this VM, as there might be some services it stops. But you know what? It's a good test. Let's get going. Let's lower our process count, because right now we are at, what are we at right now? Well, we're going to just run the online tool that's not, before we do anything. Right now we're about 180. Let's lower that process count. And let's just give it like a little baseline too. What are we at from a process point of view? A little bit higher on the CPU utilization here. And this is a pretty beefy system. Oh yeah, I did see Microsoft was doing the sudo command. We should probably install that as well. All right, let's go. Desktop. Let's just go ahead and run disk cleanup temp files. We'll disable Toretto tunneling as well. Toretto tunneling is an IPv6 feature that basically translate IPv6 or IPv4 traffic to IPv6 and back and forth. You don't necessarily want to do that translation if you either want to use IPv6 or use IPv4, and that's what Toretto network tunneling does. Is it basically means you can flip-flop back and forth using the same thing, and it adds some latency. So I always usually just say, hey, disable it, just go on with your day. Just my food for thought here. So these are the tweaks I'm going to run. I'm not going to really change much else. Let's go ahead and create a restore point. Why not? And let's add and activate ultimate performance. Make sure that works. Yep, power scheme added successfully. And let's run. What is your mic? It is a Heil PR40. It uses a Soya's cloud lifter, basically. It's not actually, it's just all a cloud lifter is it increases your bass gain by about 20 decibels. The Soya's one, it's a Russian based company, so I don't even think you can get them anymore because of sanctions and whatnot. But they're really good. I like them a lot better than the cloud lifter. But I mean, cloud lifters are fine. And honestly, you don't even need either one if you had a really good sound interface. My sound interface is more on the cheap side. It's just a PreSonus. It's like a $500 rack mount one. That's decent, but honestly, I really wish I sprang about 2,000 or 3,000 for a UFX. UFX 3. Oh man, I got my eyes on that sucker, but it's really kind of hard to justify. I'm like, why do I want that? Will it really make much of a difference? And I'm like, well, everything's going to get overly compressed to hell and back anyways. Probably be a giant waste of money, but I don't know. Oh man, Cursor. We're about to get into Cursor. Cursor's VS Code. And when it comes to VS Code, it has Copilot, but Cursor makes something called Copilot++. And also uses GPT. So they kind of piggyback off of the existing technology from Microsoft and OpenAI, and they bake it all into a VS Code-esque interface. I love it because I can just jump in and be working on a project and not really have to know the language a ton, as long as you're familiar with what proper programming language structure looks like. You typically can just go ham and get some really good results, as long as you do it within reason. Obviously, look to make sure like developer, the variables are being declared properly, or they're actually the proper variables. Sometimes they like to make up variables, but for the most part, it's really cool to get a lot of ideas. Excuse me, directly in the app. It actually has a subscription model. I think it's $20, and then it's unlimited Chat GPT 4. Or if you're like a hobbyist and you're not really using it very much, you can plug in like an OpenAI API key. Just be really careful with that, because if you're doing a lot of programming and asking a lot of questions, you're going to get to $20 pretty darn fast on that OpenAI key. But if you're only asking like maybe a handful of questions a day, then probably doing the key approach might be better than paying the $20 a month to Cursor. And then you can just go with that. And then you're only going to, incur maybe a couple bucks every month from your limited ones. All right. So we got that. Perfect. Tweaks are finished. What's our... All right, cool. That's free. All right. We're nice and closed. Let's just close out of these guys, and we're going to just give it a reboot. Let's see. I think I can just leave a looking glass open, and I think it works pretty good. We'll see. It might close out on me. I don't have scoop support yet. We're working on integrating Chocolatey. I use Chocolatey a little bit in the utility, but not as much as I probably should. Right now, it relies on WinGet a lot, and I really don't like that, just because WinGet has just a whole host of issues when it comes down to, well, a lot of things, but WinGet has a lot of issues with new Windows installs. Like Microsoft breaks WinGet right out of the gate. I think they do it on purpose, so it forces you to go into the Microsoft store and update it from the store. And there's ways around it, like you can do an add APX package, provision package, and then you have to do like the path of the actual MSI executable from their GitHub, and then also add the license file, which is an XML. And then it'll register it properly as long as the dependencies are there. Loof, thanks for the prime. All right, so now we're back. What's our processor count? It already feels a little snappier. Yeah, so we chopped off about 70 processes there, and utilization. Let's let it calm down. I bet our utilization gets into like the 1 or 2% type thing, because what this does is I'm specifically killing a lot of telemetry processes that are running in the background. There's actually a good bit in Windows when it comes to telemetry, so you gotta it doesn't get everything, but it gets a good chunk of it, and then it also gets rid of a lot of excess stuff. such as like home group. And there's a lot of things that Microsoft like had the best initiative with, and then it kind of sucked, like home group, or I'm trying to think of other tablet support. I think I go ahead and disable that. And there's a few other processors that just you really don't use. Now, I don't disable them. A lot of times they're just set to manual. So if you do like plug in your tablet and you go to use it, you can still use it. It'll just go ahead and start that service, but it'll do it after the fact. It's just, I think, pretty nice to do. So anyways, that's my thing. I care more about like the utilization and just kind of the feel of the actual system itself. And this is a brand new VM too. All right, let's move on here. Good, thinking about switching to Linux. Good suggestion for a beginner. I'd start with Mint. Linux Mint's a really good jumping off point. We've already cloned our WinUtil. One thing I like to do is we're going to switch to the test branch, pull it in. I think right now the test branch does not actually work because of our refactor that's going on. And we also have a bunch of other PRs that we need to go through too. So let's just go open folder, and we're going to come over here and go into GitHub. Julian LFS is a good one to start with too. Oh man, you gotta love the Linux users out there. Sometimes Linux users just love like suffer. Yeah, I saw the video from Brody about the Snap Store malware that was going on. Can we just stop using snaps? I mean, I've been warning people about snaps for a long time. Clem, the lead developer of Linux Mint, actually disables them by default. All right. So right now in this script, we usually run a compile, and this compile generates the WinUtil. This is automatically generated from the compile script. Now compile, I don't think runs scripts main.ps1, and then it grabs everything. I'm kind of curious. Let's first just do the compile and then launch it. What I was doing with this refactor back before I switched. One second here. We need to grab my pretty PowerShell. Let's add an existing repo, or actually no, let's clone a new repo. And was it just PowerShell? Was it? Let's go Powershell Profile. I think it is. I can't remember exactly what all I had in my PowerShell profile, but let's come on over there. And let's go setup. Nope. What do we got? Execution policies. Let's just go set execution policy, unrestricted. And now let's run our setup. Feel like we might have a bug here. Oh man, I don't have Vim. Okay, well, let's fix that too. And we'll go IEX. What did I do with that? Where did I put it? I wonder. Utilities. Do I have Vim in here? I don't think I do. Oh no, there's NeoVim. Okay, we're good. Hey, how's it going, Monk? What's your favorite package manager in Linux? Probably Zipper. I really like it. Even though I'm not like a huge OpenSUSE fan, Zipper does a really good job. It just has a very intuitive syntax. So like Pacman is made by crackheads. Apt is a little bit old, and there's just some legacy like nuances to it that's just not very intuitive. Where Zipper's like, hey, you want to install a package, it's just install. If you want to remove a package, it's just like remove. And you know, then you even can touch into like OPI, which is nice. It's like the AUR to Arch. There's a lot of really cool stuff. I do like the package managers that OpenSUSE has. They do a good job. That's hilarious. Okay. I broke my shell. I think I probably accepted someone's PR before reviewing it properly. Let's go folder explorer or file explorer. I'm gonna pin that actually. My hotkey is actually conflicting with my Linux hotkey. If we go Documents, Windows PowerShell, let's just open this one up. We'll open it with code, sure. I know, me accept a bad PR? Never. Check for updates. It's probably this. That's funny. Anywho, let's just kill that. And then let's try it again. Okay. Terminal icons was not loaded because no module file could be found in any modules directory. Okay, that's fine. CD. Oh, I don't have Oh My Posh either. Shoot. Well. Oh, and I don't have my Vim. Dude, this whole stream's gonna be shot with me just setting stuff up. That's okay. You guys can see me just set up a whole new instance and kind of gather my thought process behind things. Let's see. Why wouldn't import modules work? Usually you can just go just module. Yeah, import module. Is there a dash? Usually there's like a dash. PowerShell. Global prefix name. Scope. PS session. I think we might need to pull in. Well, usually import modules. I think we can just go name, right? Yeah, we're already coming around. Thought it was name, right? Maybe not. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's it. H. Do I have my? That's right. This right here looks like the right. Let's see if I got my. My clipboard's not working. I need to mess with my Spice server some more on my VM to make the clipboard universal. Oh well, we'll just do it old school. I spelled repository wrong. Who is surprised at that? Well, did I? Repository. I think you gotta pull in the repository first. Oh, install module. Okay. So it's probably... Let's just come back to here. Hey! There we go. There we go. Now let's also grab Oh My Posh. I think I also forgot about that. Huh. I usually have an autocomplete. Autocomplete's not working just yet. That's okay. And I also like to grab... Let's just grab Oh My Posh. Starship, I don't think I've ever used Starship in Windows. I use it all the time in Linux, though, for my thing. I like Oh My Posh a little bit better for customization in Windows. Now that we got those in, we restart, and hey, we're also now we're missing fonts. Oh, okay, that's okay. This is actually not gonna be that bad. Let's see, where did I put that? Oh, 1 second. Now we got to get NFS shares working. It's totally. I thought I set all this up before I started the stream. I was like, okay, I got almost all my accounts logged in. We're good. Anytime you start over from scratch, man, it just takes it's a beating to get everything going again. I should probably enable all .NET framework too. I don't even know if .NET 2, 3, or 4 is really being utilized in many projects. And I don't know. As soon as I say that, there's going to be some old game or something I'm playing that will need it. And I think I still will need the login here. Maybe my main pool. I don't think I restricted that down. I didn't think so. Okay, maybe not there, but maybe home? No. I'm trying to think of where I put... heck with it. We're just going to log in. I know, a little bit risky doing it on stream, but it'll be fine. I won't dox myself. Probably not. Oh, let's go. I think it's Drive. And do we have NFS? Home. Subscribe, and then we will put it here. Okay, so we got that in. Let's give it a reboot again. Now that we got those going, and we'll restart it. Has Thorium got any updates recently? I think so. I think they're on the latest now. I think there's a little bit there where it was lagging like a good month behind though. Yeah, I like the AVX2 one. It's it's just a bit faster. It does. I definitely feel it, even if it is a placebo effect. I don't know, man. I feel like it's a lot faster than many of the Chromium counterparts. Ooh, working on a big tech project. I'm reinstalling Windows on about 20 all-in-ones. You should check out the Fog project. It's actually a Linux-based project, but the Fog project is super cool because with Fog, you can actually image machines. So you get one of them set up exactly right, you image it, and then all you have to do is just plop the next machine down, plug in the network cable, and say, go. And then plop the next one down, plug it in, and you obviously get a good switch here. or if you, hopefully you do it like near the rack and you'll have access to the patch panel, and then you can just loop in all the offices and then just do a direct image to 20 machines all at once. You'll be done in a couple hours after you get your image done. Think smarter, not harder. Fog project. I think it's still going. It's been many years. The last time I did it was like 2016, 2017. Fog project. Is it still alive? Yeah, there it is. It's completely free too, guys. Just sponsor them when you can. Kick them some money if you use it, is what I say. But it's amazing. So the last time I used this project was roughly 8 years ago. And I'm sure it's considerably better from now compared to when I used it. It looks like they got a new heads-up display and a whole bunch of... man, that looks a lot better than when I used it. I probably should do a video about it, but it's on my to-do list. All right. Moving on. What else do we have? KN, thanks for the prime. And Loof as well, if I didn't get you to 18 minutes ago. All right, let's see. What else we have? I think I actually... Does this still work? Let's try this. Oh, look at that. Haha. Hey, bud. Okay. Getting back to setting things up. We should have a bit here. Oh, Alex. Or Lexi. It's a cool name, Lexi. Thank you for the tier 1. All right, now we need to grab... yes. We were doing NFS shares. So if I did this properly, guys, we'll just pull up C drive, go to our home folder, and we're going to actually just... Can we pin that to quick access? Yeah, let's just get rid of all this garbage. Pictures, pin. Kind of like to leave that. And then when we get here, we got NFS. Should just be able to click that. And then if we look over here, and then yes, perfect. Awesome. So that works great. And what we're going to do now is grab from the main drive. We wanted that to run every time the system starts, but we don't want to do it in like common startup. So we're going to go shell : startup. And this is just an easy way. A bit old school. I know a lot of the stuff I do is like from like Windows 2000 era, but I find when you do it this way and you don't try to like new age it through like some kind of GUI or whatnot, it just works a lot better because all these fundamental things are just at such a level that Microsoft probably won't screw it up. As soon as you get into like some GPOs and other things can get a little tricky, especially when doing like map drives and that type of thing. Map drives through GPO is a little bit of a dice roll, and I just really like doing it through CMD. I know, and trust me, people are like, it's the Linux user in you. No, this is just how I've always done it for 20 years. Before I even did Linux, and I didn't really try Linux desktop until 2018, I think it was. So I'm actually a relatively new Linux user in the grand scheme of things. Anywho, all right, so we got all those. My NeoVim I still don't like though. Why don't you use compact layout? Probably just, I just don't. I always just use stock almost everything. Thanks, Julian. I'll check out your PR. And I'm trying to think, what else? Let's pull up, That's right. We wanted to install all those fonts is the reason why we did the NFS shares. So I have something called video production. And then under GIMP, I know, I'm weird. Even in Windows, I use GIMP, which is hilarious because when I switched to Linux, the very first, I think probably first 60 days, all you heard from me was me complaining about, hey, I literally, I really want Photoshop right now. I was like all about all the Photoshop when I first moved. But anyways, these days it's like, let's go install for all users. We're just going to grab, I think I have my nerd fonts in here, so I think we'll be okay. Should see like Meslo, LGS, I think it is. Mono serif. Where's my nerd fonts? I didn't see Meslo. Okay. I'm looking at this and I don't think I don't think it grabbed. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Meslo's in here, so we're good. So now what we can do, if we launch into terminal, still going to be busted. That's okay. We're going to go settings. And what we're going to do is default terminal. Yes. Let's go defaults for profiles. We're going to just change the appearance. Campbell is what it usually likes. Which, ew, gross. Cascodian Mono, I don't really like. I love Nerd Font. LGS, that's my favorite. My favorite terminal font is that. And font size, I think we go a little bit bigger just because I stream quite often, and when I'm not streaming, I'm recording a video usually. And I think 14, let's go 15. Go big. Bit of an old man anyways, I kind of like the... All right, default value 1.2. Great. All of that looks fantastic. Sure, let's do a little bit of opacity with acrylic terminal. The one thing I don't like about terminal and like its opacity is it's not consistent. So you have this, but then when you click out of it, all right, make me a liar, Microsoft. Apparently they patched the bug. Usually when you put focus to a second window, you lost the acrylic nature of it. Anywho, nice. Okay, now it's starting to feel better. I like it. So we got our fonts, we got our PowerShell, we got NFS set up. NeoVim needs to be set up too, but we're going to probably hit that up another day. Oh, well, what about GH? We do have GH. Cool. If you're unfamiliar, GH is GitHub CLI. So you can do pull requests, polls, pushes, all that directly on your CLI. All right, all that looks gravy, and we got that going. And now I wanted to do the compile. So if we go G, WinUtil, that looks so much better. Oh, just sexy. I know people are like, why do you spend 30 minutes setting up your terminal? Well, one, you only set it up once, unless you reformat your system every 2 weeks like I do. But the big thing here is when you do set it up and it feels good to like do commands and just, I don't know, man. It just feels so much better than just that black screen with white text with the default font from Windows. Just adding a little bit of sexiness to it just makes you enjoy being in it a lot better. Okay, and then if we go WinUtil, what's this look like? All right, so that is working. The thing I'm unsure about is, let's just see on that launch again. Nah, that's pretty fast. I think we can live with that. The thing is, I wanted to make sure. Right now we're at 12,000 lines or so on the live project. I think I limited about 2,000 lines. I took a lot of the dynamic creation of the apps, the tweaks and the features, and then implemented them directly into the app itself. Yeah, that's true, Jang. I do need to create a script that does all this for me and then universalize it for everybody else so then they can also set it up like this. Because doing all that on each new install, although I don't really new install Windows very much that I'm actually going to be developing in. The last time I did this was last year sometime. It's not nearly as much as Linux. A lot of times I just set up my Windows instance and I'm just like, if something breaks, I just, throw some duct tape on it and continue. Where Linux, I'm much more particular. Yeah, actually, quick pass through, Raj, is developed with Debian. I want to say Hikari Knight likes Debian. Actually, I think Hikari Knight these days is in a Fedora spin. I think he's a lead dev on Bazite, which I need to cover because Bazite's a really interesting immutable distro spin that's basically rips off a Steam OS but does it good. So I need to look at that. All right, this does look good. The one thing I don't think will work here, and if we look, let me just see, what do we have for changes here? Got that. Sure. There's not much there. These changes are modified. No content changes found. But the thing about these ones, I think they need to be integrated directly into the WinUtil. Let's see what that looks like. Because I think it's actually referencing the XAML files. Yeah. So this right here is not what we want. Right now it's trying to it's pulling from a local file. So if I were to actually push this live right now, it would basically break all the tweaks. So to fix this, I want to push everything in here to the compile side of things. So over here, we have this tab column, out file to there, and then we have the main. But the big thing here is the XAML get content, and then write output XAML out file script name. That's what's wrong, which is fine. But technically, we need to source the get XAML function. And it looks like we'll grab all this, do these modifications, and then we're going to pull in WinUtil here. And for input XAML, we were going to replace these things. And what I'm doing is just trying to offload all that loading it's doing and any kind of dynamic loading, and then it makes everything static. So it just should speed up the program by a good margin. All right. Input XAML. It's actually not here. So you got this XAML, grabs that. We have all of this from these files, and then we get all the content. And I want to say we can just go XAML. I think that should do it. Well, we'll find out here shortly. Just trying to think of what could go wrong here. So then the XAML is getting manipulated. We're pulling in the existing XAML input XAML file here. We're sourcing the get tabs XAML function. And then we are manipulating it with this, grabbing all these child paths, and then loading the XAML content from input app. And finally replacing the right here input XAML without out there. I think that's good. I don't think we have any problems. Let's save that out. Let's do a compile. Maybe. The diff contains a change in line endings from LF to CRF. What the hell is that? Oh, excuse me. Yeah, that's fine. Grid definitions. I don't think it pulled what I needed. This should be a considerable amount more than just a couple line modifications. It didn't actually join these. So if we look at let's make sure that they're actually generating. Yeah, the generation's no good. So it is combining them and everything. So the loading from XML is working. This right here, the app XAML path, did we miss something? Okay, that's child path input app. I've noticed on the streams, guys, it actually cuts out a little bit. I think my 10 gig switch over here from Microtech, the cheap $100, $200 ones you buy off Amazon. I think I might need to replace that guy. I think it's just having a fit a little bit after it gets warmed up for about an hour into a stream. It wasn't Twitch. I'm pretty sure it was me. Get tab XAML function. If we look the function for get tab XAML, it's under private. Generates a XAML for a tab in the WinUtil GUI. Now, in normal circumstances, this actually does work pretty well. I know it looks like gobbledygook, but it's how we dynamically pull all the apps in from the JSON file. Yeah, cheap and 10 gig are not best friends. I 100% agree with that. As far as the restore point gaming, when it comes to restore point failures, I think some of the original, depending on which function you're using, if you're using like Windows Terminal as admin, you should be fine. If you go to launch like PowerShell 7, I think you actually have problems. So I always recommend people always launch their PowerShell just by clicking and going terminal with admin before running the utility. That is kind of a known thing. I'll see if we can't code something to get around that in the future here. Right now, I'm just trying to think, what in the world? How do I import this? So we have this. Let's roll through it. So we're creating the function right here. We have our run spaces set up here. We start to create the WinUtil script right here where it's just going through. First grabs the start PS1, replace me with get time and date to timestamp the compile. Then we have get content, PS full name, outputs the script name it looks like. Oh no, this is actually grabbing all the functions right here. So everything in the function file gets grabbed, but I have to actually source some of those functions to use them in this one. I think I'm missing a function call. Let's look. I bet there's another function call in here. Might be the run space. Organize data. I don't see anything. Okay. Sync configs tab name. How's it pulling in those JSON files is what I want to know. So we have all of these, and if we look at WinUtil, is there an import function? I want to say I coded something. I remember when I had to code the JSON file, it was just a friggin' nightmare, man. All right, we got, this is all GUI elements, I believe. Yeah. Where would that go? It's not grabbing the JSON files just yet. What's down below this? Oh. Configs. Get child item, for each item, JSON, replace. This, convert from JSON, write output, sync configs, JSON, convert, out file. I think what we have to do, let's move this up. This might screw up because of the order of operations of how it's writing to the script. And we'll see. We'll see. Oh, man, do I have enough space below this? All right. Because I need these functions in before. So we're writing XAML. Let's grab it. We're going to put it up here. We need those values to be able to write the tweaks, the applications, and the features. These are auto-generated with the JSON files. And they're dynamically generated from the JSON files. And I want to make sure that we do that in the compile PS1, have it completely isolated out of WinUtil, because I don't want everyone having to use compute power to do those dynamic generations. It should make sense. All right. Okay, that seemed to work. Did that. We can check real fast. Yes, that's what I wanted. And then if we check our WinUtil, how's this look? Just browsing through here. When does it grab that XAML file? We got our invokes, still in the functions. Okay, now this is the JSON. Update security. Yeah, no, that's looking good. I think it's fine declaring all this before our JSON. Our JSON gets loaded right in here. And I know it looks like gobbledygook, but the gist of it is I didn't want any dynamic elements in our GUI. And this is the best way I can think to make it static. I'm wondering why these are PS1 and not PS. Nav, because I'm a noob. I fooled the entire internet. I'm really an AI bot. It's just really good at hacking stuff together. All right. This looks fine. And the PS1. Oh, why Microsoft made them PS1 instead of PS script files? I don't know. Microsoft logic. I never try to question Microsoft logic. This shouldn't be in here though. So if we look at our compile, it's fine over here, but in our actual, where's that? Where's it pulling it from is the big thing. Let's just do a global search. Main. It's in main. Okay. This is what I want to kill. And I think we have this logic in the compile script. Let's make sure. Oh, we don't have that logic in the compile script. I think we can move it over there, maybe. No, maybe not, actually. I remember there was a reason why I did that. I can't remember why I coded it, but I remember coding it. And it was for a specific reason when you do XAML in a PowerShell script. What the reason is, though, yeah, I don't know. I don't know on that. Okay. Let's redo a compile. It's being used by another oh, oops. Oh, close. Let's go ahead and close these guys. All right, now let's compile it again. Okay. Let's just double check our files. Input app, still populating, so that's good. And then if we look at WinUtil, we're gonna go all the way down. And we're still at 12,000, so here, I'm gonna consolidate that. The about menu. Let's move up. All right. Yeah, I need to make an actual document kind of going over how everything's broken up here. So more people can actually contribute to cleaning up some of this code. Yeah, that looks good. All right, cool. So the run space down here is pretty good. One other thing here, max threads. Let's change that. Right now it's using all your threads for the tool, which sounds like a good idea. And it is a lot better idea when it comes to run spaces. The main issue is when you do it that method, you kind of want to leave 1 or 2 threads alone just for the system. It's like running a VM in your machine. You don't want to initialize that VM with all your threads. You want to leave a couple for the system just to kind of hang out with, especially in Windows. Linux, it's not as important, but Windows definitely needs a lot of that background to chew on stuff. So let's run this. We should. Nice. Looking mighty fine. That is what I wanted to see with this refactor. Let's go ahead and do a submit here. Pretty large refactor, but it's just moving those dynamic elements into a compile script. So all of the process load gets put on GitHub. So when we do this push, GitHub's going to run the compile script, and then it spits out a static WinUtil. Instead of putting it in the WinUtil, all the compute would be done by the user when they launch the script. Now all the compute will be done on GitHub in the front end with the compile. So all the dynamic elements get generated one time instead of tens of thousands of times a day. Like, the script gets run a lot by a lot of people around the world now. And I just want to make sure, dude, think of the energy savings. I'm saving the trees out here. All right. Let's see here. What's this look like? I think probably we'll just call it compile refactor, I think is what we'll call this. Let's push it. And then I want to let the raw file catch up from GitHub. You know what I'm going to do? Nah, it's fine. Let's go WinUtil. And we're going to come over to our test refactor. How is the How's our checks doing? Yeah, I need to make the link for the beta easier. The problem is the beta link changes all the time. The raw file changes all the time because the raw file is only good for that branch. And the branch gets swapped out every month or so, sometimes every week, you know, depending on how much development time I'm putting in. Usually that's what happens. All right. Why is this 7 commits behind main? What? Oh, that's right. I was working on the YAML files, the workflows for closing issues. So I had like hundreds of issues, and I was like, I'm not going to get to these issues. Let's pull in these pull workflow GitHub actions. I was doing a bunch of commits to main on that. Let's create this. Files changed. I mean, it really, whatever. That should be fine. Let's pull in from main. Let's resolve those conflicts. Sure. Do I need this version in the notes? I think what I'm going to do going forward is just kill this. And then down here, the sync version, I think I absolutely need, though. Sad to say. But this causes so much heartache. And honestly, I might just do like a git ignore and then just make sure WinUtil.ps1 doesn't even ever get uploaded. That would probably be the best solution here, now that I'm thinking about it, because this gets compiled automatically by GitHub. So I don't need users to upload WinUtil. Just got to figure out a way to ignore it. Doing a git ignore, I don't think works. I can't remember why. Yeah, whatever. All right, let it run through our checks. How long before I keep updating in PS1 before I give up and move to another form or language? I don't think I'll ever will, because the thing I like about, like, I not to say I wouldn't code in another one, because we already kind of created a base project that ingests the JSON files with all the tweaks in a C# program using .NET. We've already actually coded all the backend, all the hard stuff. So obviously I'm going to create like a C# program. I'll probably make that like donation only or whatnot, but I always want the PowerShell script there. I know that sounds crazy, but the reason I love the PowerShell script is anyone can grab it and read it and be able to see the source script with everything right there. And I love that. It's not compiled. You don't have to download the source from some site. You can just go ahead, just grab it, do an IWR, you know, or even curl it, whatever, you know, whatever tickles your fancy on the download, and then just have all the raw source right there at your fingertips, and then just run it as you see fit. I love that. I wonder how you can trust thorium. I don't know. Furries are pretty reputable people. Thanks for the sub there, Mer. Furries are people too. Every stream and every comment I get on YouTube has been, I can't believe he's still on thorium. And I'm like, I know. It's fine. I was as open, as transparent as I could possibly be about it. And then I tried like Florp and trying to use Firefox. And at the end of the day, it just felt bad to me. And I was like, well, the author did say he took the furry stuff out of here. And he's sorry about that one repo getting mixed up with his source code. I was like, shit happens. People make mistakes. I forgive him. And then I went back. That's the story. I'll probably have to explain it again on the next stream, so don't worry if you missed this explanation. I'm sure I'll get more comments and more people in the stream about it. It's fine. Hey, Sora, thanks for the raid. Some weird sound effects I got going on with that. Oh well. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of times it's more about speed. But I think the big concern I think a lot of people have is security. I never really found any security flaws. And some people are like, well, it wasn't on the latest version of Chromium, so you have some 0 days that could have probably been exploited. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. So I don't know. If you start seeing some Elon Musk live stream tweets from my YouTube channel, y'all know what happened. The furries got me. All right, let's squash and merge this. Everything looks good. We're just grabbing those GitHub actions into our test branch. So this is just grabbing our changes from main, pulling it to test. Now that that's done, if we go over to test branch, we should be able to test branch. Yeah, it says 9 commits, 1 commit and 9 commits behind. What? Really? Weird. Okay, well, anyways, we got that pulled over. Oh, Peter, man, you missed all the DWM action, man. We'll do it again. The DWM, I'm making some really big headway, man. I was messing around with the status CMD and the DWM blocks. Instead of issuing commands like DWM blocks externally, I'm going to bake DWM blocks directly into my DWM binary, so I only run one file. And then I'm using SIG commands basically to do specific updates instead of doing some janky status script for the status bar. And then we can actually issue commands just like you do on like Windows, where you come down here and you click on like the audio and you adjust your volume. What I'm doing now with DWM will be, as soon as you click it, it'll actually send the command directly to the DWM binary and then change the DWM block based on the SIG command instead of doing some kind of timed thing, it wrapping up processes, being inefficient, and it'll just, it's going to be great. Very ambitious, but we've made lots of progress on DWM. How's the ISO debloater tool we're doing? I think we got to work on that some more too. I mean, with a lot of the stuff, especially like Cursor and a lot of the AI support you can get with C programming and the intuitiveness of it, the LSPs today are just so mind-blowing. I just absolutely love all the language servers that I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, this is amazing. I wish they had this 20 years ago when I was coding, because as I was like, oh, look, there's a squirrely braces. Oh, I forgot to declare that variable. I think Borland C++ back in the day when I was using that, dude, it was so maddening. I remember running, I'm sure there's stuff about today's programming that's also equally as maddening, but I just remember it being so much harder. And as I do more on DWM and regular C, I'm like, this is way easier than I remember. Zan, thanks for the prime. All right, we got that going. I kind of want to just merge this thing in from our test branch, but let's go into WinUtil on the test. This is that's the test. Why does it say 2 hours ago? Huh. That doesn't seem right. All right, let's try. So we're going to do an IRM, file, IEX. All right. Yeah, no, it grabbed everything. I like it. Huh. Oh no, Cat. There is patches for doing an on-the-fly live reload, but I'm not using them. I'm all about just get your config in there. Have one binary with no config. Oh, that's where my jam is. I'm like, I don't want to run any external programs. I don't want to run anything but just one binary file for my entire system. I know. I'm weird. I think that's good. Let's see if there's any PRs. I think I might have to close these PRs because I've just refactored so much. They might be a nightmare to try and pull. Let's just see. Okay. Coding Wonders, I think I looked at this. What all the changes? Replace me. He's fixing up some of the microwin applications and helpers, which is great. All that looks good. Okay. Looks fine. Okay. I think we can just accept that or approve it. Let's just let's just go approve, submit. Coding Wonders is... Did I already approve this once before? Okay. Automatic conversion of ESD files as well. Yeah. Gonna need that. Let's resolve the conflicts. Whatever. It's just gonna get overwritten anyways. All right. All right, now we just squash and merge. Coming into our refactor one. Let's do it. Okay. That one's in. Let's come back to our test branch. Is there an actual compile that's happening? Let's look at our GitHub actions. Kind of curious here. So here's close inactive issues. We have unit tests, which is fine. Are these failing? I wonder why everything says 2 hours ago. Well, we're down from, what was it? 12 PRs? Now we got 11 PRs. What? I don't like that that's failing. Let's look at our test fail. On the pester tests, invoke WinUtil sticky keys with no errors message. Cannot find because it does not exist. Huh. In pester function tests. .ps1. Is it not there? So if we go to functions, pester tests, looks like it's just doing a check to make sure that the name should not be null or empty. Okay. I don't know if that's really doing much. For describing functions is fine, but as far as checking the child name, function base name, should not be null or empty. Nah, I'm kind of like on that pester test, that unit test. I don't think it really even matters. For each block there. I don't know. I'll look at it. It's just I'm not worried about that error. It's just going to be annoying seeing the red X. Was there any other errors I was getting? No, just that one. What else is this pester test doing? This is all started from me gaming. The whole thing actually started with Win10 script. The initial one was a copy from something I used. It was like an unattended PS1 script I used that didn't have a GUI. And then I was like, I bet I could write some kind of script GUI. I've seen people do it with like WinForms. So the initial WinUtil Win10 script was just me hacking around with a absolute value GUI using WinForms, which was terrible. And then everyone was like, hey, we like this GUI, we want to see more of this. And then I was like, okay, I think we can do something a little more pretty with like a XAML file. And switching from WinForms to the other, oh god, I can't remember what it's called now. It's not WinForms though, it's the newer model of it. It came out with like Metro UI with Windows 8 actually. WinForms is older than that. And I switched to that, and I was like, okay, it looks like we can do it. I don't think I can do very much with it because I'm not really good with the XAML files, and I'm not really good with GUIs, to be honest with you. I'm just more analytical, and I like just more CLI-based stuff. And that took a little bit. It took a little bit, and then I got that going, and then I think Developer Derp came in with the run spaces, which was a huge performance uplift. So like when you run like MicroWin and those types of things, they should actually perform a lot faster than many other programs out on the market, like even paid programs, such as like NT Lite takes a long time to bundle up stuff because we're able to use run spaces, which is really complex to use. And Derp helped out a lot with that. I couldn't have done the run spaces without him. So then we got those contributions, and now it's just kind of morphed. Conti was the last massive contributor where he contributed a revamp of the XAML to make it look a lot fancier and a lot cooler. And he also contributed MicroWin, which was the ISOs. So very, very cool guy. And he was a huge part of like evolving it as well. Having said that, there's like 100 other contributors I'd love to name because of their contributions too. There's been a lot of people over the years, Carter and many others that I'm thinking of that we've talked with, and it's just kind of taken on as a life of its own because of its open source nature and all the collaborators on the project. So that's why it's so different and how it's kind of morphed into this massive project from initial humble beginnings of just being a CLI based PS1 script that just was run on new systems that I set up. And I was just like, hey, I just need to set these values on these new systems and kind of clean things up. And I just took that script and just dropped it in. It's like, here you guys go. And then everyone's like, well, I don't like this. I want to change it. And I'm like, okay. The initial script actually installed Adobe by default. And I remember that pissed everybody off. I used it for work. Yeah, I used it mostly for work. And I just grabbed it. I coded it there, and I was setting up systems, and I would use that on a fresh system. And then I would just go through, and sometimes I really didn't use it too much on my home systems that much. Just because it was like, I gotta go download it. Hell, I'll just do the tweaks myself. Because I really didn't reload my Windows systems very much, because reloading Windows sucks. Like, I have fun reloading Linux, but just the tediness and the fact I'd just done it professionally for decades. It's just feels like I'm at work when I'm reloading Windows. So that I would go out of my way to not reload Windows. Oh, really? Zero Linux released a new Arch post install script. Tried it a few days. It was pretty good. Oh, that's cool. I'll have to try it out. Zero Linux is amazing. I like that. He really, really talented in a lot of GUI design as well. He does some really good rices. All right. Well, I'm going to leave this pester test. I think we're good. Let's come back in. I think we need to test that WinUtil just to see how that's going. That's weird. It says 2 hours ago. I still don't know why that says 2 hours ago. It's kind of an oddball thing. Okay. Let's test that. And we're going to go IRM. Drop that raw file. IEX. All right. Got that. Let's see. I wonder, when I do that at 321, yeah, that's today. Okay. Select the Windows. Okay. A lot of times on the Windows 80K, when you install it via Chocolatey, like this script's doing right now, it grabs an older version. Chocolatey has not been good about updating a lot of versions sitting in their libraries. It has a vast library, but I find WinUtil does a better job of staying more up to date with a lot of systems, a lot of packages. Or Chocolatey is starting to lag a little bit, I find. Specifically, like the WinUtil install script, whoever was maintaining it kind of dropped out. And they're like, I don't want to maintain this anymore. Which I get. So I guess I'm going to have to kind of take on that too. That's another thing we have to fix is the not WinUtil, WinGet. We got to fix how WinGet gets installed and checked. Still don't have a really good way of doing that. I think maybe we do, if Chocolatey is not installed already on the system, that could be a trigger that the script's never been run before. Therefore, just go ahead and reinstall WinGet directly from the repo and grab the dependencies. I don't know. Just thinking out loud on that. Welcome to OSS. One man's mess is another man's inherited mess. That's true. How's your experience with Cursor so far? Absolutely love it. Like, can't live without it, so to speak. Especially when I was doing my DWM configurations. Man. Oh, dude, it was so helpful when it came down to a lot of those configurations. Okay. That was actually a pretty good bug fix there. Before OSCDIMG would error. Actually, before we do this, let's relaunch. Otherwise, it's not going to find OSCDIMG. All right, microwin. There we go. Let's go this PC. Oh, I can't grab my NFS shares from here. That's right. I think I can grab them. Yeah, sure, whatever. We'll go through SMB and grab it. 23H2, open. What is the best for gaming general use? Regular Windows or Windows Server? For gaming, it's going to be regular Windows. If I had to pick one version, like all the nuances of licensing and stuff set aside, LTSC is so good. I love LTSC. Just using a long-term servicing channel is so much better when it comes to Microsoft operating systems. You're not constantly worried about updates breaking things or adding weird features. And the latest LTSCs, very, very solid for most gamers, and very, very debloated as well out of the gate, which is nice. But most people can't do that specifically for licenses, and those people that like pirate it or crack it just end up infecting themselves and becoming a part of a botnet. So I don't want to advertise that. I would never make a video saying that, just because, again, most people are not savvy enough to figure out how to get an LTSC key properly done and installed and grab it. Maybe like a G2A or something like that, some shady key website. But again, I don't think I ever want to tell people to do that, even though I've done it in the past and it does work most of the time. Obviously, use PayPal so you can reverse the transaction if you go down that rabbit hole. And yeah, I really like that version of it. Probably the best. I believe there is an LTSC in Windows 11, is there not? All right, so we have our thing mounted. Let's just keep all the... Well, let's just keep provision packages, and we're going to do this. And start it. All right. Micro win. I also changed the default index from Windows 11 Home to Windows 11 Pro. That was an important change as well, because I really, really don't. I hate using Home, and there's many times where I was using MicroWin, and I would forget to change the index to Pro, and I ended up spinning up like a Windows 11 Home ISO, and I was like, oh, Lord. There's not a worse implementation of Windows than Windows 11 Home. Ugh, it's brutal. So we talked about the best Windows version you can get. Home is the absolute Achilles heel. Like, GPOs aren't going to work. They've pretty much broken them extremely well. You can use stuff like Policy Plus and open source projects to kind of get around it, but it just becomes super jank real quick with Windows Home. Now, another thing I kind of want to investigate too with MicroWin's solution, while this is probably a little faster than like an NT Lite, I think we can do better. I think we can optimize the threads, and I think we can optimize the run space for MicroWin specifically and make this go twice as fast. Because I think a lot of this is actually just using like a single thread based on just looking at some of the coding and stuff. So I think we still got to do some MicroWin work as well. MicroWin was just a PR. It was just a pull request that showed up on GitHub one day from a developer called Conti. And I actually got to chat with him a bit. He's just a really, really smart guy. And he has some really good ideas. I think he actually works at Microsoft. I don't know. I remember him saying, make sure you don't say my position if you do say I work there. he didn't want to get outed. So keep that on the down low. There's a lot of really cool employees at Microsoft, I will say. Over the years, I've met a lot of people that do work at Microsoft. As much as I always bag on Microsoft as a company, man, they do hire some really, really smart people, I will say. Yeah, Windows Home doesn't have a group policy. They stripped it out. There's a lot of things in Windows that get stripped out. Usually they start with like a server image and then strip out what they don't want Home or Pro users to have. Another thing that I think Home users also get stripped out is MSTSC or remote desktop connection. A lot of times that gets stripped out or it gets gimped, where it's barely functional on Home, where it can maybe do a client connection, but it can't host its own. There's a lot of weirdness to Home where they try and purposely force, more professional users into a Pro, which I get. At the end of the day, they're in the business to make money. Up until Windows 11, the Pro version was the only way to get Hyper-V. Yeah, all the Windows servers also had Hyper-V. That was the main use case for it. Most Home users and even Pro users don't use Hyper-V. Even so much so, they break a lot of the scheduling. So many people bitch about Microsoft, yet everyone seems to be using GitHub. It's true. Microsoft hasn't ruined GitHub yet. But it is only a matter of time. If we're being honest, I think we could all take bets on when Microsoft's going to eventually screw up that. It actually accounts for a lot of the revenue, surprisingly, from an enterprise realm. I think that I was looking at their revenue sheet, and GitHub accounted for almost 2% of all Microsoft revenue in this past year. That's way higher than I thought it would be. I mean, 2% of their total revenue is massive. That includes Xbox and obviously Windows Server, Windows licensing. There's a lot of money there Microsoft's pulling in. Patent revenue and those types of things, I think, is a huge chunk as well. Azure, I think, is a really big growing share. A lot of cloud offerings they use pulls in a ton of money with O365 and Azure. But GitHub, surprisingly, is making Microsoft money. It's not like Twitch, where it's costing Amazon money. It's not really. I mean, Amazon didn't buy it for Twitch to make money, though. Amazon just bought it so they could get IVR. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny to think about, but Kick makes Amazon more money than Twitch does, because Kick's using IVR to power their entire site, which is hilarious to me. But I mean, they're making just hand over fist based on that technology, all from the acquisition of Twitch. It was just all about the technology, really. So I think they're just like, if it makes money, it makes money. If it doesn't, it doesn't. IVR. Here, I'll pull it up real fast while we're waiting on this. Oh no, not I. Is Amazon? Wasn't IVR? Sorry. Amazon. It was like interactive video. IVS, I think is what it was. Yeah. Sorry. Amazon Interactive Video Service. IVR is a different one. Anyways, this is what they bought Twitch for. So if you ever want like to check out to see how much all this is, like IVS is crazy. Let's go IVS calculator actually. Hey, how's it going, drummer? Oh, there we go. Thank you. So let's say you have one channel. You want advanced HD. You want to do here we go. Basic 1080. Let's say we do a 24-hour stream. How many people are in chat right now? What do we got? Like 100 people? Let's say we got 100 people. 150. Okay. 150 people for 24 hours, let's say. The cost to run my stream for 24 hours is roughly $264 if I were to do it on my website, utilizing Amazon IVR. Or I can just log into Twitch, feed it an API key, and do it for free. That's kind of amazing. That's the power of the Twitch technology. IVS, Amazon IVS didn't exist really. It existed, but it was a different iteration. When they grabbed Twitch, they were able to kind of strip mine it a little bit and grab a lot of the technology. So Twitch now has to pay Amazon. Basically, it gets calculated into their fees. They don't get a free lunch, so to speak. But that's why. That's the truth behind it all that everyone seems to miss. All right, well, that looks like it worked well. Looking at this, that looks good. We probably should have like a 5 gig drive, probably sitting on the desktop. Let's just see. Yep, 5.6 gigs. I don't think we need a mount and install or anything. I just wanted to kind of test some of those changes that were made. All that looks good. Oh yeah, the transcoding. Good night. That costs so much money. All that's about to be fixed though. With the transcoding, once they do AV1, the client, all the streamers will just do all the transcoding for any streaming platform. YouTube and Twitch and Kick and all of it, it will be AV1, and the stream itself, I'll send all the transcoding to them. Yeah, that's really the only reason to do partner right now is the transcoding, because I really don't care about the Twitch stuff. Most affiliates get the same treatment as a partner, so to speak. But the reason why I was like, yeah, sure, just go ahead and give me a partner. I don't really care about the contract or whatever it was. And I was like, sure, whatever. I mean, I get all my money from YouTube for the most part. And it was more about just getting transcoding. So then if you're watching me on a phone or a computer or whatever, you always have transcoding as a partner. That was really the big reason to go partner. And you get a cool purple check mark. So that Microtech switch not working all that great. Damn. Well, shoot. All right. Just looking at the old switch back here. Ah. Love the boomer shorts. Yeah. Oh man. Let's look for 10G switch. What do we got here? TrendNet. Ugh. I don't think that's gonna be much better. I like Microtech better than TrendNet. How much is like a FS switch? Yeah. I mean, that's not that bad. You got stacking, link aggregation, what? L2 switch. Okay, so we got level 2. Something like this might be okay. Yeah, it might be a bit noisy. What is the decibels? I don't think it'll tell me decibels on something like this. Yeah, the problem with this one is probably going to be... No, there's no fans. It's fanless. I think something like this is probably what we should switch into. I've used FS in the past for businesses, and it's pretty good. I don't want to go Cisco. Cisco's, you're paying for the name for the most part. Well, I don't actually want the fans. Why not Unify, though? I'm not a millionaire. Like a Unify switch. Let's see. Let's go just Unify store. All right, let's go switches. Eesh. Well, we can do it. We got 24 port. I'd want to do at least 4 10 gig connections, though. How much am I using? 2, 3. Yeah, I need at least 4 10 gig connections. Let's go filter. We need a 10 gig SFP plus. Yeesh. I like SFP. I hate Ethernet. Like when you go 10 gig, you got to go SFP. Only noobs will go Ethernet over 10 gig. Just there's so much more heat and power associated with the Ethernet 10 gig. Why would you do that to yourself? Just do SFP and you don't have to worry about any of it. I mean, that's not a bad. What if we just do all SFP, guys? What do you guys think of that? This is just an aggregate switch. I don't know if that'll actually work for direct connection. I bet it would though, right? Yeah, I think Pro aggregate would be fine. Because honestly, we could just toss some SFP RJ45s in here for some of the 1 gig connections I'd want for it. I'm only using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm only using 7 with my current one, and that's all SFP with some adapters for some of the 1 gig connections I have. SFP cables aren't very expensive. The SFP modules are though. Man, those things are like 40 or 50 bucks a pop. I got a bunch of them though, so that's not a cost. I got a whole bunch of those, so we're fine. LTT says Ubiquity. I mean, Ubiquity is not a bad one. It's for SMB or just me in my garage. Ubiquity is fine. You're not gonna see it in like an enterprise or anything like that though. And it looks relatively spaced for the transceivers. I think this would be fine. I think what I'm going to do is just buy this Ubiquity aggregation switch and just rock that. I don't think we'd have any heating problems or the cutouts that we're having right now with the old Microtech. And 270 is a pretty good deal. So I can use it just like a regular old switch because I don't really need to do anything with it. What about TrendNet switches? Yeah, not a fan. TrendNet, I'm kind of out on. Anything like TP-Link. Is D-Link even around anymore? Ugh. Yeah, all those are terrible. Microtech use, I mean, this is a Microtech that's kind of crapping out on me, so they're cheap. That's the nice thing about Microtech. But you get what you pay for, guys. I think the end of the story, we can just say you get what you pay for. Yeah. I'm going to just go with this. We'll switch that out for the next bit. I might actually check to see. There's an Altex up the street from me. I might be able to just run over there and grab. I don't think they'd have this, though. This is kind of a specialty switch. Netgear is not awful. Not great, but it's not as bad as a lot of the other trash out there. A lot of the cheap stuff. Netgear is like a... But, I mean, their quality slipped a little bit in recent years, I think. But, I mean, what company's quality hasn't slipped in recent years? I mean, the Ubiquity's actually been pretty stable for a long time. I actually like Ubiquity. Netgear is like a good... It's like a mid. It's just mid. We should do a Switch tier list. What would you suggest for a router? I'm actually just using a Dream Machine, actually. As much as I was like, well, I'm not a huge fan of Ubiquity, I'm using a lot of Ubiquity. You know, the Dream Machine's actually not bad. It's a little bit overpriced, in my opinion, but it does work really well. I do like a lot of Netgate stuff. Netgate makes pfSense, so if you're really familiar with pfSense, the Netgate hardware's a solid option. I love the Netgate hardware as well. Oh, yeah, I still do need to do the VPN tier list. Oh, my gosh. I don't know, guys, if I want to do that. The last one with the antivirus tier list. Hell, I don't even know if I can tell anybody, so don't say anything. But I got a demand letter from a big company from that. So, yeah, that was fun. They want me to take down that video. So I had to talk to an attorney, and he was just like, listen, you can't mention it, you can't do anything. If you can just get rid of any mention of that what was discussed, then do that. And I was like, all right, we'll see. Yeah, I tried to chop it up as much as I could to do it, but yeah, it's still rough, man. Yeah, I'm not re-recording that one. We're just going to leave it as be. I'm just not going to mention it. I'm not going to make a video about it. Nothing. Not worth it, man. Not worth going into. Say, man, Ubiquity's website's kind of sexy. All right. Yeah, I think I'll switch out the Microtech with that aggregation switch. Hopefully I can find one local. I'm going to try Altex or Micro Center. I think they're about the equal distance. Like Altex, I'm going to Fort Worth, and Micro Center, I'm going to Dallas. So whoever has the aggregation switch, hopefully one of them has it. I'll go pick one up. It's only like $300, so that's not bad. But all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna shut it down for today before my Switch cuts out on me again, and you guys are staring at a blinky light. And yeah, I could try and fix the Microtech, but I think it's just probably overheating. It's a fanless design, and it's not the best. I think it'll be kind of interesting. Oh, it's just to confirm, it's a switch-to-switch thing. Really? Oh, okay, yeah. So the USW aggregation switch is a standard 10 gig switch. Oh, that's cool. As long as it picks it up and passes the data, so cool. Yeah, we're good. Kan's like, it's not. It is. You can just connect to it directly. Yeah, so I'll pass my one Dream Machine 10 gig connection over down into the USW aggregate, and then I'll come off of it into clients, not other switches. I'm pretty sure that'll work just fine based on what I read on that. Correct? Unless I read that article you sent wrong. I did just browse it really quick. You know, my reading comprehension's not the best. Especially when I'm streaming. Oh, wait, we never did do update the branch. Let me see. Was there any other... Oh, geez, we got to do... Oh, shoot. We still have those 11 pull requests. Maybe we can bang them out real quick. All right. Add, minimize, maximize buttons. I don't like the implementation of this. Bah. All right, next. Sorry, guys. All right, we got one from Blue. Change the theme from low spec. This is a modified theme in dark mode since it's resource intensive. Ah, okay. Like that idea. LMs, okay, It's literally a low spec issue. Gotta love Conti. I'm kind of curious. Okay, let's see how much code was changed. So we just add in the dark mode into the themes.json. Shadow post forever. Invoke WinUtil GPU. Okay, you're just detecting GPU name. Okay. Invoke that. If NVO equals true, matrix, else dark, else classic. Oh, that's cool. That is clean. That is a clean commit. See, I like that. That's straight and to the point. Not a whole bunch of changes. Not very convoluted at all. Dig it. Yeah, let's just squash and merge. Yep, no refactor. Perfect. On to the next pull request. Improve the OneDrive tweak a bit. There's another cache folder that OneDrive uses. Found it under local app driver. Read the comment patches for exact details. Oh, lordy. Yeesh. OneDrive. We're just adding one line. Local app data. Remove item recursively. OneDrive. Okay. Looking. Yeah. Pretty basic tweak. It's just a one-liner. I was just looking for syntax errors. Squash and merge. Draft. We're going to leave those. Make microwin's new desktop shortcut. Have run as minute. Oh, this is interesting. I think I did see this. He actually does a read of the shortcut. Changes the byte value to 15. Oh, Patrick, thanks for the 10 subs, man. I wonder if there's an easier way to do this. This does seem a little janky with changing the byte values. That's one thing. And I looked at it, and technically a lot of the documentation around changing byte values and finding this hex and then changing it. Most of the documentation's from Windows 7, so it probably will work. But again, I kind of like hesitant to change the hex values of a shortcut. I don't know. What's everybody else's thought on that? That's where I'm like, it's neat. It's a neat idea, but I'm just not sure. I'm okay with people just right-clicking the shortcut and saying run as admin too. But even if the shortcut doesn't work, again, I don't really care that much. Worst case, I just come back and change this. Yeah, screw it. Let's do it. Yeah, it's kind of a neat documentation. Yeah, it does elevate automatically with admin, but then it runs con host instead of like a terminal. So I do like the fact you would just run that. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, let's just do it. It's actually more of just a neat learning experience of modifying a shortcut to be run as admin by default on creation. So I kind of like that. It's a very interesting fix. All right, what else is this one? The changes. One later mentioned, title for WinGet. Uninstall command. Private, accept documents to... Okay. Updating the dep mentioned in the install selection is not what I found. Upgrade, more accurate. Man, OG MRK is making a lot of requests. Does look like this one did get... Oh no, he closed it and reopened. So if we look, accept source agreements. Oh, I think this actually got taken out. This used to be there. And then for the WPF install, looks like some grammar fixes. And slight input XML. I do like his commits. I like his PRs, but they're very clean. They're to the point, and there's not a whole lot else going on. Very easy to review and approve. I like that. All right. Handle preview versions of WinGet. All right. This guy's trying to make a stab at WinGet not detected. Oh, Lord. This one's a rough one. This one is... I've made a couple stabs at it. I don't think the problems this could change could induce, justify the means, change the scaling over the raw application call. Thanks for the idea. I would nevertheless keep the version call raw instead of using a commandlet. Yeah, raw is going to be faster. I see the point in using the Microsoft provided functions in case they change the inner workings of WinGet, which they will do. I mean, it's just those bastards in WinGet. I like this guy. This guy... I like the suggestion by OG, and I love the response on the grabbing the version directly from the commandlet. That's cool. That is very cool. I'm just going to remember some of that, which is very cool. Because issuing commands from the commandlet, again, is going to be a problem. I'm going to probably have to hard code installing WinGet for future reference. All right, that's good. Pull requests, fix typos. Oh, Lord. Anytime I see a fix typos, it's like, really? Well, can't get any more simple of a PR than that. It should be 8, and it's 7. So I changed it to 8. Hey, I like those PRs. That's a good PR. Let's keep going. WinGet ID. It doesn't have the proper ID, really. Really? WinGet dev toys? Okay. I hate it when people submit the WinUtil PS1 file, but I get, he tested it with the compile and then he just did the submit or the PR that way. That's fine. Let's fix the resolving conflicts. All right. Almost there. Mark is resolve and commit. We're almost there, guys. Man, I used to do Vivaldi back in like 2000. I ran Vivaldi for an entire year. I always liked Vivaldi. I ran into a problem when I was on Linux with Vivaldi where it kind of got slow. They did a bad Linux version and it forced me over to Brave. And then I was on Brave for many, many years. And Brave's still decent. I'm just getting a little bloated with all the crypto boom and all the crapto crap coming back into the world. I'm kind of like, oh, Lord. It's going to be scam city for like the next 12 to 18 months till the next Bitcoin crash. All right. I think we're good. Squash and merge this. Crapto crap. Oh, boy. I wonder how many influencers are going to create altcoins and scam their audience again. I wonder if Logan Paul will do another run. He's already done it twice. Crypto Zoo and Dink Doink. Fun to watch. What is this? Fixed improved URLs and updated software naming on creator formatting. I mean, I guess. Digicam. I don't understand the purpose of this. Do people really care about capitalization? Maybe. I guess it's more of an aesthetic thing. I'm just like, hey, if it works, I don't care. Yeah, that's actually fixing a couple things there. Yeah, he went through and fixed it to the apps. Okay, I get it. Pzip, putty. Yeah. It's actually a lot of work going through and fixing all that. Just making sure there's nothing else hidden in here. PRs, man. PRs. We got through about 11 of PRs pretty quick. All right, that's looking good. Let's do it. Approve, submit, squash and merge. Oh my god, Ethereum at 4K again. Oh. Well, you're about to see a big bear run. You got the halvening happening April 1st. So, or a big bull run. So I bet Bitcoin will double in price over the next 12 to 18 months and then crash about 60-70% like it normally does every 4 years. You pretty much set your watch to it these days. I don't think we'll get quite the rise as last time, but at least double. So probably if I'm making predictions here, I know people love me and my financial predictions, but I'd probably say like 150 to 200 on Bitcoin and before the crash. Then it'll crash down to like 40 or 50 and then sit there for about 3 years until the next halvening. All right. That's good. All right. I think that's all good, guys. Let's go to the test branch here. And we're just going to grab the raw file. Don't know why everything says 2 hours old. How many megabytes or gigabytes would you say WinUtil is? Oh, maybe like 1 or 2. Oh, I guess we could curl it. Let's just let's see. It's a good question. Hashtag not financial advice. Does that shit even work? Like, come on, guys. How many people say, this isn't financial advice, but let me give you some financial advice. This crypto's going to the moon. I've bought a bunch in my bag. I want you to buy it too. That's financial advice. Like, if it ever goes to court and you get sued for that, you're so screwed. Just by saying something's not financial advice and then giving financial advice doesn't make it any less of financial advice. It's like people take stupid pills. I started the stream off like common sense, critical thinking. Come on, people. You can't preface stuff like that and then do the exact opposite. You can't just gaslight someone before you tell them the lie. You got to tell them the lie at least first and then try to gaslight them. It doesn't work in reverse. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's too funny. Too late. I bought $10 worth of Dogecoin. Oh, God. You guys are going to kill me. All right. Yeah, kill me. What do we got? Not bad. Not bad. All right. Looking good. Tweaks. Config. Updates. What do we got? Power panel. Looks great. Do we have an ultimate performance plan? Let's do that. Sound settings. Yes, that looks good. Updates. Let's go security. Config. Let's do feature install. All right, this is good. I like this. All this looks good. I think we're pretty much ready to merge onto the main branch. We got 324. Let's do our merge. All right, test and refactor. Let's do our PR. All right. Create the pull request. So what do we do here? We got GitHub Actions. We need to document this, actually. We've got new GitHub Action. Closing old issues. Fix for file creation in micro win and automation fixes. At Coding Wonders. Fix theme for no GPU low spec PCs. Blue. Miscellaneous fixes from OG Merc. What else do we have? Fix typos and grammatical typo. Oh, how many extensions do I have? Let's see. I don't know. Probably like 10, 20, something like that. Fix typos and grammar. All right. Large refactor and removal of dynamic GUI elements. Move to compile.ps1 script for more performance. All right. A little bit of a word salad there. All right. Got all that. Let's do it. Squash and merge. All right. Refactor's in. It is live on the main branch. Here we go. Is that grammar an actual typo or a tongue-in-cheek? I'm terrible. No, people have been fixing my grammar with PRs. Like, if someone wants to get like a badge on GitHub for like getting a PR on like a big repo, all they have to do is check any of my big repos and then just go, oh, did this guy graduate high school? And to you, I say, yes, but I barely passed English. I did take like Comp 101 when I went to college for a little bit, but I dropped out. All right. Let's see. Let's see this going. I still want to fix that pester. It's just like this GPU cannot find path because it does not exist. These are just function calls, and this pester, I think I'm going to get rid of that function pester. I don't think it really serves much of a purpose. And I don't really like it for the name. Yeah, I was just terrible at English. Math came very, very easy to me, but English was not my strong suit, man. By far one of my worst. Alrighty. So we got it. We're merged. We're live. Launch it right now. I think, let's just go IRM, christitus.com/win, IEX. Yeah, I really do wish I applied myself a little bit better when I was growing up, but, you know, such is life. All right, so this is what we got. What were one of the big fixes we did here? I'm trying to think if there was something I could look at that was changed. Yeah, a little busy signal. I think that was one of them. I'm trying to think if there's one. Other one. Cool. I actually wanted to do a patch to push this to a top bar because I kind of want this monitor, because Windows 11 you can't move the taskbar. There's actually a registry setting you can do to just throw it on top. I wanted to actually add like a little tick box, say, hey, do you want your start bar at the top? I know I'm like only the only ones would want that, but I've been meaning to kind of do that. All right. Anything else we got here, guys? Does anybody want to try it out and see if there's anything wrong with their one? I don't think we have anything that's going. That all seems very good to me. Let's look at the raw file. Just make sure we got the raw. And yeah, there's the GPU check. So that's there. And IRM christitus.com/win. And I'm just going to check to see if the link grabbed it, because that GPU change should show up pretty quick. I think it was right in here. Yeah. So there's the GPU check from Blue. Why isn't my autocomplete working in PowerShell? All right. Anyways, all that's working. Let me know if you guys have any problems. Do we have anything here that I would like? Let's install something just as also to grab. I already installed Zoxide, right? All right, found an existing Windows PC health check. Why is that there? Kind of want to remove that. Anyways, pzip, no. Shell context. I like shell context, but it kind of, I don't know. I swear the streams look different every time. Still working on this. I guess I should pull my. Oh, no. Oh well, it's gone. Whatever. My green screen I forgot to pull down. I didn't realize you guys were just sitting there staring at me every time with my portal open. Pro streamer here. Now, oh geez. Let's just go to development. Actually, I do need to grab like Node.js. Let's say. Let's just install Node.js. That looks good. Yep. Updating the Windows thingy. Everything looks good. All the refactor went off without a hitch. We got 12 pull requests done. Let's go to our branches. I think we're going to go ahead and delete our refactor branch. We're going to create a new branch. We're going to call this one test 20. Oh, actually, did I do test 2024? Feels like this naming scheme's wrong. I guess it really doesn't matter. Whatever. Test 2024-03-21. So with that done, we'll do a little refresh. See our new nice and clean test branch. Let me know if something happens, but I think that's a pretty large refactor with some optimizations where it's not grabbing any of those. We have 125 contributors now on the project. Dude, coming from scratch, that's impressive. Oh, there was a type change. Oh yeah, let's try dev dev toys or whatever it is. There's a lot of just basic fixes on that. I think it's under Microsoft. Dev toys. Dev toys is down here actually. Yep. What is dev toys, by the way? Current system configuration does not support the installation of this package. Interesting. One thing I will check here, just because I don't want someone doing a sneaky canonical snap pack on me. All right, BK4W version unknown MS Store 9P BK4W. Okay, that's there. Can we open up this store link? Let's just see. Dev toys average 4.9 stars, 641 rating. Okay. JSON the YAML. Ugh, YAML. Markdown preview. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Well, neat. Yeah, I just wanted to vet it a little bit. It's like I had actually looked at that utility, and I did merge it. All right, guys. Well, sweet. I think we're pretty good on all this. Thank you guys for stopping in today. It was a blast doing the WinUtil refactor and publish. I didn't think we'd get as much done today as we did. It actually ended up being a huge amount of pull requests. The refactor went relatively smooth, moving a lot of those dynamic elements into static ones. So it should actually launch a lot faster for folks. And then we had some good PRs, like one from Blue, where he said, hey, if you're running it on a Potato or a netbook or something that doesn't have a proper GPU, it'll take off like the glow effect and those types of things that could tax your system, which is pretty cool. I would never even think to do something like that. I wouldn't even think of those types of users. So very, very neat. Do you have any plans going back to Hyperland? Probably eventually. We'll eventually get there. But for today, I'm shutting this one down. We got WinUtil updated. We did our once a month update. I'll probably go back to it. We'll see. Not the next stream. The next stream is going to be probably DWM again. I'm still working on a lot of the design of this. The big thing is implementing like DWM blocks and making this entire clickable with like a clock, a volume bar. Maybe I do like GitHub notifications or something, or maybe pull requests on WinUtil. We could probably put that in the title bar. I don't know. We'll mess around with like some status symbols there, but the DWM's really, really coming along really nicely, and I'm loving using cursor while making and programming a lot of that C directly into that binary. It's just so much fun. Yeah, all the commits are merged. Everything's done. We got a new fresh test branch. We are all done, and the refactor was successful, and so was all the PR, all the pull requests. So thank you to anybody that contributed. Much appreciated. Project just keeps getting better and better, and hopefully faster and faster too, as we find some of these inconsistencies. As I don't like to just grab everyone's pull request and go, yeah, take it. So a lot of the pull requests, I do look over and say, hey, how can we improve this? Or does this slow the project down? If it slows it down at all, these days, I'm going to probably deny pull requests that add any kind of bloat or unnecessary loading. I think the next fixes for WinUtil will be the threads, and also looking at MicroWin to see if we can't help it along with some of the run spaces, because I don't think it's getting utilizing run spaces to its full potential, and I think we can get a little bit more performance for creating that ISO, because I want to get that ISO done in like under 10 minutes is really the goal. Mount the WinUtil or Windows official ISO and then be able to strip it all down and then get to it. I don't know if that's possible, but we're gonna get close. We can do better than we are now, which is great, and we're good. Yeah, Win 10 is starting to be on the way out. We have one more year before end of life on Windows 10, but it's still usable. I don't really use Windows 10 on any spot anymore. I think I had a compatibility where something happened and I was like, okay, we'll just use Windows 11. But yeah, Windows 10 is still good for at least another year. And then once it hits EOL, everyone will have to move to Windows 11 and deal with a lot of these shenanigans. Which is not fun, or switch to Linux. You never know. All right, y'all. Take it easy. Peace. I'm going to also track down that switch so we won't have any disconnects for the next stream. Because like every hour it seemed like there's a disconnect. I bet there's one coming up in like 5 minutes if we don't hurry and get off here. So, all right. Peace.